Welcome back. In the last video, you defined Christian believer and follower and determined where you are right now. In this video, we'll give you a perspective on the narrow path and give you a way to view the world that could be transformative for you. So let's take a look. And I owe this to John Mark Comer, who wrote an amazing book where he described this for me, and it was life changing. So maybe it will be for you. So in Jesus' day, when he was teaching those 3 years he was teaching, imagine that, he would go from town to town, and each town that he would go to, people would gather around because his reputation got out. Then they would come to see him, and they would surround him. And, oh, Jesus, they would just go crazy, and he'd, speak wisdom, and they'd love it, love it, love it. Well, then he would get ready to move and go to the next town. Well, there were just a few people that followed him to the next town. The rest of them went back to their homes, went back to their lives, kind of back to normal. Oh, Jesus, what a great dude. Yeah, he's great. I love him. All right. That is the story that John Mark Comer shared with me. And the point was, are you a Christian or a believer? Because the point is, the people that didn't follow him, they could say, yeah, I'm a Christian. Look at it today in our world. People can say, yep, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. But are they actually following? Do they take up the cross, as it said, and follow Jesus? That's a big difference. And I think that is why the reference is in the Bible about the narrow path. So I'm going to cover 7 points here to help you, hopefully, just gain some new awareness around your spiritual journey. The first point is following is active. As we learned from the story, those people that actually followed him from city to city, they were taking action. They weren't sitting back, going back to their homes, going back to their way of life. They may have taken some of his learnings and tried to incorporate that, but they, following requires some action. And in this case, it means really taking some action. So just remember, to be a follower is active. You can be a believer and not take any action. You can say you're a Christian and not take any action. But following is active. Point number 2, following requires change. Change your routines. Some of those routines may have to go. Point made as I thought about this from my own perspective. Christian, or people ask, are you religious? Are you a believer? Yeah, and you may say, yeah, I go to church. That may be a routine. Maybe you've gone to the same church for years. Or maybe you just, bop from church to church. And for you, that is kind of, yeah, I'm a Christian, I go to church. Or I'm a believer, I go to church. Okay, so these routines that maybe have given you comfort, maybe you've gotten stagnant. So these are all just self-awareness. You have to ask yourself. Everybody's at a different space on this journey. So everybody's in a different spot. So, as you reflect through these points, it will reveal something about you. All right, third point is believer is a low bar and Christian is homogenized. Anybody can say, I'm a believer. Say, do you believe in God? Yep. Do you believe in Jesus? Yep. You can say it. So just proclaiming that you're a believer, again, back to the active part, it's a low bar. Christian is so homogenized. We'll say, oh, are you Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. Well, what does that mean? Again, as we defined in the last video, you had your own definitions about that now. Maybe they've changed. Point 4 is follower is about surrender. Because what did Jesus say? He said, leave everything and follow me. Everything. That means change. It's surrendering everything and following Jesus. Everything you know about this world, everything you know about, like my life as I was growing up, I believed in the American dream, so that's what I was following, that American dream, until I found out it was a lie. Boy, there's a lot that had to change for me. It was surrendering all that I had thought previously about what life was all about. So it's about total surrender. Point 5, surrender is not for everyone. Hence why the Bible talks about the narrow path. And now you can see that. Jesus talks about that. They said, he talked about many people will, say, oh, look, I did all the things. I went to church. I prayed. I did all these things. I didn't do this. I followed 10 commandments. I did all that. Jesus said, I didn't even know you. That's why this path is narrow and it's not for everyone. There's that parable in the Bible where the rich dude, Jesus said, well, yeah, you could follow me. All you have to do is sell everything. And the dude was like, no, sorry. It's a little too much for me. I can't go that far. So that leads me to the next point, which is point number 6. Following challenges what you value most. In that guy's case, he valued his possessions, his money. So there was a point that he couldn't surrender. Some people, it could be your family. Can I surrender my family? Abraham, take your son up to sacrifice him. My goodness. God is going to test whatever you're idolizing, whatever you're putting above him. So following challenges what you value most. It really does put you into this total surrender everything mode. So for me, it was even like I had to unlearn everything that I had learned in the past, still in the process of doing that. And point 7 is following is very different than the world. As you can imagine, look at the world and see what the world values and understand how far you are hooked into that. Are you, like I was, thinking, oh, I need a retirement fund. I need VK, I need insurance, I need medical insurance, I need health insurance. And you're worried about these things of the world. It's okay. I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying this following business is very different than what the world says. Where do you get your security? Where do you get your safety? I could say so much more on that, but I'm not. I think we've given you enough. These 7 points then should allow you to really start to understand what the narrow path looks like. Because you have choices to make. We all have choices to make. And, our hope is that you engage with other people in community when you're making those choices, because that's where you're going to get wisdom. So subscribe with the notification bell to receive regular updates. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button to see more like this. Comment down below. This can be with questions or answers to the question that you ask. And we'll see you the next time on this amazing journey from isolation to community, where the next step beyond is freedom.